Hey, what's up, good people? My name is Lawrence, and this is my filmmaking journey. I'm just gonna give you a bit of my history in terms of film and when it all began and where I am right now. So, in 2008, that's when my interest in cameras began, and it began because of my interest in shooting music videos. And back then, cameras were crazy expensive. I remember trying to get a PD 170 or a PD 150, and it was insane. We were actually using hand camcorders. And then fast forward to 2010, where now my interest even grows. And I had this friend by the name Haig. So Haig had these cameras that he had bought. The DSLR was just coming in, and also the Sony Z7 was just coming in, and he had. So we had this engagement, and he would give me cameras, and I would shoot. And my interest in film started growing, and I think everyone needs someone like Haig in their lives, because that's when I started doing music videos and trying to understand light and shadow. And then fast forward to, I think, 2013, 2014, where I actually do my first short film by the title Grey. So I went again, talked to Haig, who decided to give me his cameras to come and shoot. Back then he had the Canon 5D Mark II, an amazing camera for its time. So he gave it to me. I put together a small team. Most of the people at that time were non-filmmakers. I think there was only two people who were filmmakers, myself and a lady by the name Mercy, who was actually in school back then. And Bahashi was acting, so it meant that I had to do everything behind the scenes, and while also trying to teach the team that I was with. Now, fast forward to today, now that I'm talking to you, my interest is in doing a short film by the title Chuma, Dan Chuma. So that is what we are working on. And what I want to say is, looking back in time, equipment was one of the greatest problems that I think we used to face in the industry. And something also funny happened right after shooting Grey in 2014, because it wasn't for so long until Haig's equipment got stolen, which is a problem we actually face in Kenya. Film equipment gets stolen left, right, center. It is scary, and that is one of the reasons why I've not been able to do a film, because now trying to figure out where to get equipment again, hiring equipment is so expensive. And as we all know, I'm not sure, but if everyone knows this, but filmmaking has no money in Kenya or in Africa. This is not the West. This is a place where, yeah, we make films, but we don't have consumers for it. We don't have platforms that can consume the content that we are actually churning out and pay for it. So to fast forward to 2023, where I want to do my next film. And this film now is called Chuma. Chuma is the story of a young man who is living in a devastated economy, trying to make ends meet, So the reason why I actually ended up settling for Chuma is because, first of all, I had written another story titled Oluoch, which was supposed to be a short film. But in the process of writing this film, Oluoch, it just kept growing and growing and growing. And before you know it, I'm looking at it and I'm like, no, this thing might turn into a feature. I'm not able to contain it because it just has a life of its own. So I spoke to one of my colleagues, he's called Edwin, and he was like, why don't you just do Chuma? And Chuma, the interesting thing about it is I had written it back in 2014. So 2014 I wrote it, but I didn't finish writing it. I left it hanging because I was, in as much as yes, I was writing all these stories, I didn't have the resources. So sometimes you just get to a place where you feel like, yeah, I'm writing all these stories, but I don't have the resources to produce them, so I put them aside. So I revisited, started rewriting, and I was like, okay, I think this is an interesting short film that we can hopefully shoot in a day or two and just be done with it. So the other problem that I want to talk about actually is financing, man. I'll be very honest with you. Financing film in Africa or financing films in Kenya is just insane. Why? We depend on our little savings, we depend on friends, we depend on favors, So even Chuma is not like a high budget film. We are working on zero budget. Right now, yeah, we have equipment. We don't actually have the best equipment out there, but at least we have something that we can work with. We can try and tell our stories with. So I want to just welcome you into the journey of creating Chuma. Where we are at now is that we are at the process where we put out the casting call. We are looking for the lead actor, who is Dan Chuma, and we are hoping that we're going to get good feedback from the acting fraternity out there, and we are able to make get into a contractual agreement about remuneration and the kind and the things like that. So walk with me in this journey. Come with me, see the struggle, see the pain, see the failure, see the processes, see what we have to go through in order to make this. This is my filmmaking journey. My name is Lawrence, and welcome to this channel.